The roar of the crowd hit like a freight train as I sprinted down the sideline, the ball glued to my cleats, heart pounding like it was trying to escape my chest. "You worthless hack! Get off my field!" The words sliced through the chaos, spat from the lips of Jax Harlan, the golden boy of Easton University soccer, his finger jabbing straight at me like I was the enemy he'd been waiting to crush. In that frozen second, as 20,000 fans held their breath, I realized he had no clue, no damn idea, that the hack he was burying alive was the anonymous MVP who just clinched the conference title with a hat trick no one saw coming. I wasn't supposed to be here, not like this. Not with my cleats digging into the turf of Memorial Stadium, the air thick with the scent of fresh-cut grass and desperate ambition. Easton U was my ticket out of the nothing town in Ohio where I'd grown up, where dreams got swallowed by cornfields and factory smoke. Soccer had been my escape since I was a kid, lacing up my dad's old boots in the backyard, pretending the chain-link fence was a roaring stadium. But I kept it quiet. No trash talk, no Instagram flexes. Coach Ramirez called it my ghost game. Invisible until the whistle blew. That night against Rivorton, though, the ghost decided to haunt. It started with a corner kick in the 87th minute. Score tied at 2-2, our season on the line. The ball sailed in like a comet, and there I was, unmarked because Rivorton's defense had fixated on Jax, our cocky-ass captain who lived for the spotlight. I leaped, connected, and boom, net rippled. Then, in stoppage time, I stole a pass from their midfielder, weaved through 3 defenders like they were standing still, and slotted the winner home. The crowd erupted, but I just jogged back to midfield, head down, letting the cheers wash over me like rain. Jax slapped my back harder than necessary, muttering, "Lucky break, newbie," before turning to mug for the cameras. That's when it all unraveled. Post-game presser in the bowels of the stadium, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. Reporters swarmed Jax, lobbing softballs about his leadership. He ate it up, all dimpled grins and jersey tugged low to show off that chiseled jaw. Then some hack from the campus rag zeroed in on the unsung hero, me. "Ethan Hale," he said. Mike thrust my way. 2 goals in the clutch. "What's your secret?" I shrugged, voice steady but low. "Just team effort." Jax set it up perfect. Jax's laugh barked out, sharp as broken glass. He leaned into his mic, eyes locking on mine across the scrum. "Team effort? Come on, man. That kid's got heart. Sure, but let's be real, he's a benchwarmer who got hot for one night. If we're talking stars, it's guys like me carrying the load while the scrubs chase shadows." The room went pin-drop silent. Cameras flashed. I felt heat crawl up my neck, not from anger, but something worse. Humiliation laced with a twisted curiosity. Who the hell did he think he was? I slipped out before the questions turned on me, weaving through the tunnel like a shadow. My phone buzzed in my duffel. A text from Mia, my roommate and unofficial therapist. "Dude, you okay? That was savage. Want tacos?" I thumbed back a thumbs up, but my gut twisted. Jax Harlan, star recruit from California, trust fund kid with a billboard smile and a trail of broken egos. I'd watched him from afar all season. His precise crosses, that effortless swagger. But up close, he was a storm cloud in cleats, and I just stepped into the rain. Back in the dorms, the team chat exploded. "Jax Wilden, from our goalie. Ethan's the real MVP though." I scrolled past, collapsing onto my bunk. The room smelled like stale pizza and Axe body spray, the kind of comforting chaos that kept me grounded. Across campus, though, Jax was probably toasting his honesty with a keg stand. Little did he know, the conference committee had already leaked my MVP nod. Anonymous vote, but word traveled fast in these parts. By morning, it'd be everywhere. Dawn broke gray and drizzly, the Ohio River misting up the windows like a bad omen. Practice was brutal, Coach Ramirez drilling us on set pieces, his whistle a relentless whip. I kept my head down, focusing on footwork, but Jax's presence loomed like a bad habit. He jogged up during water break, towel slung over his neck, that perpetual smirk in place. "Hey Hale, no hard feelings, right? Just keeping it real. Media eats that shit up." I wiped sweat from my brow, meeting his gaze for the first time without the crowd's buffer. Up close, his eyes were this piercing hazel, flecked with gold like autumn leaves. Real? Or just your ego talking? The words slipped out sharper than I meant, and something flickered in his expression. Surprise? Respect? Nah, probably annoyance. He chuckled, low and easy. Touchy. Look, you're good. Raw talent. But this game's about more than goals. It's branding. You want to stick around Easton. Learn that. I bit back a retort, grabbing my ball and heading to the goal. Branding. As if my life was a product to polish. Growing up, soccer wasn't about fame. It was survival. Dad worked doubles at the mill, Mom piecing together nursing shifts. When I came out at 16, awkward dinner table confession over meatloaf. They hugged me tight, said love's love, but the whispers in town, they stung like yellow jackets. Soccer was my armor, the one place judgment didn't touch the pitch. By lunch, the campus was buzzing. Flyers slapped on every bulletin board. MVP reveal. Ethan Hale leads Easton to glory. Some enterprising RA must have snagged the leak. I ducked into the student union, hood up, but Mia spotted me. Hero of the hour. Why the hide and seek? Too much noise. I grabbed a tray, piling on mystery meatloaf. She was the only one who'd known about the MVP buzz. Hell, she'd nominated me in the team poll. We settled at our corner table, her dissecting the drama like a true crime podcaster. Jax is spiraling. Heard he rage-tweeted at 2 a.m. something about fake news MVPs. Petty much? I laughed despite myself, but it hollowed out quick. Jax's words from the presser looped in my head. A poison vine. Worthless hack. As if one critique could erase a season of blood and bruises. Afternoon classes blurred. Lit theory droning on about unreliable narrators. Ironic as hell. I texted Coach. Everything cool? His reply, Harlan's on thin ice. Focus on the banquet Friday. You're the man. Banquet. Black tie affair at the Alumni Hall, where boosters slapped backs and checks flowed like cheap wine. I'd have to suit up, smile for photos, pretend Jax's barb hadn't carved a scar. That night, rain hammered the roof as I laced up for a solo run on the indoor track. The echo of my sneakers was the only sound, rhythmic as a heartbeat. Halfway through lap 10, the door creaked. Jax, in gray sweats, earbuds dangling, he slowed to a walk beside me. Mind company? I faltered. Pace breaking. Free country. We ran in silence at first, the kind that presses in heavy. His breathing synced with mine, effortless, like he was born for motion. Finally, he pulled an earbud. Saw the flyers. MVP. Huh? Guess I owe you a beer. Or an apology. I didn't look at him, eyes on the red line blurring by. He snorted. Apologies weak sauce. How about a bet? We one-on-one tomorrow. Loser buys the drinks and shuts up for a week. Adrenaline spiked, mixing with something electric. You're on, Harlan. But when I win, it's 2 weeks. His grin flashed, wolfish. Deal. I shouldn't have bitten. But in that moment, under the humming lights, with rain lashing the windows, I felt seen. Not as the ghost, but as the fire beneath. The next day's sun cracked through clouds like a promise, turning the practice field into an emerald sea. Teams scattered for drills, but Jax and I carved out our corner, cones set like battle lines. Whispers rippled, Cap versus Ghost, phones sneaking pics. He started cocky, nutmegging me on the first touch, laughing that easy laugh. Too slow, Hale. I countered with a feint, stripping the ball clean, my shot pinging off the crossbar. Pay attention. We traded goals, sweat-soaking shirts, breaths ragged. His style was poetry. Fluid, aggressive, mine scrappier, all instinct and grit. By the 20-minute mark, tied at 3, fatigue clawed in. He lunged for a tackle, our legs tangling, and we hit the turf in a heap, his weight pinning me. Chest to chest, his hazel eyes inches away, pulse thundering through us both. Not bad, he murmured, voice husky, not pulling back right away. I shoved him off, heart slamming for reasons beyond the game. Game point. I won on a curling shot he couldn't quite reach, the ball kissing the post and in. He sprawled, grinning up at me. Son of a bitch. Beers on me. That night at O'Malley's, the dive bar off campus where co-eds mixed with jocks, we claimed a sticky booth. Pints of IPA frothed between us, the jukebox crooning Springsteen. Jax loosened up, stories spilling. His mom's Hollywood agent gigs, the pressure to be the prodigy. Dad bailed when I was 10. Soccer's my proof I'm worth something. I nodded, sipping slow. Mine too. But it's not proof, it's just me. His gaze lingered, probing. You're different, Hale. Quiet storm or some shit. Makes a guy wonder. Wonder what? The air thickened, charged like pre-storm static. I leaned in, words tumbling. That presser? Hurt like hell. But I get it. Fear of fading. He winced, rubbing his neck. Yeah. Sorry doesn't cut it, but yeah. We talked till last call, walls cracking. Walking back under street lamps, shoulders brushing. I felt the pull. A dangerous gravity. Gay in a team full of bros? Recipe for disaster. But Jax? He saw me, scars and all. The banquet loomed like a guillotine. Alumni hall glittered. Chandeliers dripping light over tuxes and gowns. I tugged at my rented bow tie, feeling like a penguin in a shark tank. Mia fussed in the lobby. You clean up nice, MVP. Jax is already schmoozing. Watch your back. Inside, the room hummed with clinking glasses and forced laughs. Coach Ramirez pulled me aside. Breath minty with nerves. Speech ready? Keep it short. Heartfelt. Speech. I'd scribbled notes on a napkin, thanks to the team, the grind, the ghosts we'd outrun. Jax caught my eye from across the room, raising his glass in mock toast. Asshole. Dinner dragged, rubber chicken and small talk. Then the awards. Assists to our winger, shutouts to the keeper. Jax took best defender, striding up like he owned the stage, quipping about defending our legacy. Laughter rippled. My turn next. Envelope slit. Announcer booming. Star player of the year? Ethan Hale. Applause thundered, but I caught Jax's face. Pale, jaw slack. He clapped slow, eyes narrowing. Up there, lights blinding, I gripped the podium. This isn't about one game or one goal. It's the guys who push you when you want to quit. The late nights, the losses that teach more than wins. To my team, you're my family. And to the field, thanks for letting a ghost play. Offstage, handshakes blurred. Jax cornered me by the dessert table, voice low. You played me. Knew about the award and let me bury you. I met his stare, unflinching. You buried yourself, Jax. I just kept running. He stepped closer, cologne sharp, tension coiling. This isn't over. It was the spark to dry tinder. Weeks blurred into a frenzy of midterms and matches. The crisp bite of fall deepening as leaves turned the campus into a postcard. Our record held strong. 8-1-2, and whispers of nationals buzzed like fireflies. But between Jax and me, a minefield. Practice crackled with unspoken barbs. He'd hip-check me harder. I'd shadow his runs till he cursed under his breath. Off the pitch, though, stolen moments piled up. Late-night texts about plays. A shared smoke behind the dorms where he'd pass the cigarette and our fingers brush. Electric. I told myself it was nothing. Brotherhood, team glue. But lies have a way of fraying. Mia clocked it first, over greasy diner fries one Tuesday. Spill, Ethan. You're glowing like you swallowed a firefly. Jax. I choked on my Coke. What? Nah. He's intense. She arched a brow, all-knowing smirks. Intense like, wanna punch him or wanna kiss him? Heat flooded my face. Shut up. But she wasn't wrong. Jax Harlan was a riddle wrapped in abs and attitude. A California transplant who'd traded surfboards for shin guards, chasing validation like it was oxygen. I'd catch him in the weight room, benching his demons away, hazel eyes distant. Once, spotting him on squats, our hands overlapped on the bar, and time stuttered. Steady? I whispered, and he held my gaze a beat too long. The betrayal hit like a sucker punch during the Penn State rivalry. Away game in Happy Valley, their stadium a cauldron of whiteout chants. We led 1-0 at half, my assist on a header. Locker room hype, but Jax pulled me into the trainer's closet. Tight space smelling of Bengay and liniment. "We got this," he said. Hand on my shoulder, thumb tracing my collarbone accidental-like. Then his lips brushed my ear. "You're the only one I trust out there." My breath hitched, world narrowing to that touch. "Jax!" Door banged open. Teammate froze, eyes wide. "Whoa, sorry." We sprang apart, but damage done. Jax bolted, face ashen. Second half, he ghosted me, no passes, no eye contact. We held for a draw, but post-game bus ride was funeral quiet. My phone lit up later. Meet the river trail. 1 a.m. Don't make me beg. I shouldn't have gone. Moon silvered the Ohio's banks, fog rolling in like secrets. He waited on a weathered bench, hoodie up, kicking gravel. That wasn't shit, Ethan. I panicked. I shoved hands in pockets, heart a war drum. Panicked why? Afraid of what? Of this. He gestured between us, voice cracking. "You're in my head, man. All season I pushed 'cause, hell, attraction's a weakness on the field. And now? Teammate sees? It's ammo." I stepped closer, fog be damned. Weakness? Or just real? His hand found mine, rough palm to palm, and pulled me down beside him. The kiss was inevitable, hesitant at first, then hungry, tasting of Gatorade and fear. His stubble scraped, body solid against mine. And for those stolen minutes, the world was just us. Two guys untangling in the dark. We swore secrecy. "Team first," he murmured against my neck. "Always." It worked for a while. Stolen kisses in equipment sheds, his texts lighting my nights. "Miss your ghost moves." We'd laugh about it over coffee runs, him teasing my Ohio drawl, me calling out his Cali slang. Romance bloomed quiet. Notes slipped in lockers, "You're my MVP." Walks where hands swung close but never quite touched in public. He opened up about his ex, a surfer dude who'd bailed when things got too serious, leaving Jax armored in sarcasm. I shared my coming-out scars, the small-town isolation. In his arms, I felt unbreakable. But cracks spiderwebbed. Rival scouts swarmed practices, whispers of pro contracts. Jax thrived, posing for draft mocks. I shrank, content with the game's purity. Then the article dropped, campus paper. Easton's hidden MVP. The quiet force behind the storm. Flattering, sure, but it painted me as the anti-Jax. Humble versus hungry, ghost versus God. He read it aloud over FaceTime, voice edged. "They pitting us, Ethan. Like you're the saint, I'm the sinner. It's just words." I soothed, but doubt gnawed. The high point was homecoming against Michigan State. Tailgates choked the lots with bonfires and brats. The air electric with grill smoke and face paint. We crushed them 3-1, me bagging a brace, Jax assisting the third with a pinpoint cross that felt like a love letter. Post-win, the team's ritual. Bonfire at the quad, kegs flowing under star-pricked skies. Jax pulled me aside mid-toast, breath warm on my cheek. "Dance with me later. Screw the risks." We did, slow sway to an old Luke Bryan tune. Bodies close in the firelight's flicker. His hand low on my back. No one clocked it. Shadows hid the truth. That night, in his off-campus apartment. Posters of Messi and Maradona, bed unmade. We crossed lines we'd towed for weeks. Not frantic, but tender. Whispers and touches mapping uncharted skin. His laughter soft when I fumbled a button. "Easy, ghost. I've got you." After tangled in sheets, he traced my ribs. "This could be us, Ethan. Beyond college. Pros, maybe a place in LA. You and me." My chest ached with want. "Yeah, you and me." But dreams are fragile as November frost. The fall came swift, courtesy of betrayal's bitter wind. It started as a leak, innocuous at first, a blurry photo circulating in the team group chat the morning after homecoming. Us by the bonfire, his arms slung casual around my shoulders, my head tilted toward him in that unguarded laugh. Caption: "Bromance goals?" Emojis exploded. Fire, hearts, winks. I laughed it off, deleting quick, but Jax's reply chilled me. Cool it, assholes. Focus on Ohio State prep. We met for coffee before film study. Him nursing a black drip, me stirring sugar like it could sweeten the unease. It's nothing, he insisted, but his knee bounced under the table. Guys are idiots. As long as we play it straight. Pun intended, no harm. Straight. The word landed like a cleat to the gut. I forced a nod, but the bubble we'd blown felt thinner, pricked by reality's needle. Ohio State loomed, a blood feud under the lights of their horseshoe. Wait. No. Their soccer pitch was a concrete coliseum, fans rabid in scarlet. Bus ride down I-71, Jack sat shotgun, hyping the playlist with trap beats and trash talk. I bunked window seat, scrolling highlights, but his reflection in the glass pulled me. Jaw set, eyes distant. Halfway through Ohio, he slid back, dropping beside me. Hey! Hey! Silence stretched, tires humming. His hand found my thigh under the armrest, squeeze brief but fierce. We're good, right? This us, it's solid. I covered his hand with mine. Solid. The match was a grinder. Turf chewed to mud, elbows flying. They scored first, a screamer off a free kick. Half-time. Coach Ramirez tore strips off us. Wake up! This is legacy shit. Jax rallied in the tunnel, slapping shoulders. But when his eyes met mine, it was a plea. Fight with me. We did. I equalized in the 60th, volleying a clearance into the top corner. The net bulging like a promise kept. Jax mobbed me, hugged too tight for cameras, whispering, "That's my guy." We pushed for the winner, but time ebbed. In the 89th, chaos erupted. A corner swarm, bodies colliding. Jax went down, clutching ankle, ref's whistle shrill for PK. He waved me off the spot. I got this. His shot was pure, low, driven, keeper sprawling wrong. 2-1. Bedlam. On the podium later, trophy gleaming, he dedicated it to the brothers who bleed blue. His gaze lingered on me, and for a heartbeat, I believed we'd outrun the shadows. Back on campus, the high crashed. I woke to my phone's fury, 30 missed calls, texts from unknowns. Faggot MVP? Screenshots flooded. The bonfire pic, now memed with rainbow filters, paired with grainy locker room shots. Me and Jax, that closet tangle, someone's phone snuck. The headline screamed from the student portal, Easton soccer's secret. Captain and MVP in steamy scandal? My stomach plummeted. Betrayal, raw and reeking. I bolted to Jax's place, pounding the door till it swung. He stood there, hair tousled, eyes red-rimmed. Ethan, you leaked it. Voice cracked, fists balled. To protect your draft stock? Spin it as distraction? No. God, no. He yanked me inside, door slamming. The apartment smelled of yesterday's takeout, blinds drawn against dawn. It was Derek, our winger. He cornered me after the game, said he'd seen us, threatened to go public unless I paid him off. I told him to fuck off, but he must have shopped it around. I paced, rage boiling. Paid him off? With what? Your trust fund tears. Jax, this destroys everything. He grabbed my arms, hazel eyes pleading. Not everything. Not us. We'll deny, say it's fake, deep fakes or whatever. Coach'll back us. But the damage spidered. By noon, campus was a minefield. Slurs scrawled on my locker, teammates ghosting practices. Coach called emergency huddle. Rumors are bullshit. Focus on the ball. But his eyes said survive this. Jax tried bridging. Notes in my cleats, we fight together. But I shoved them away. Trust, once cracked, leaks slow. Mia became my anchor, crashing my dorm with Ben and Jerry's and bad rom-coms. He scared, Ethan. Rich boys don't do scandal. But empathy warred with hurt. Nights, I'd run the track till lungs burned. Replaying his whispers. The presser's venom now twisted ironic. The climax brewed at the regional semis against Virginia Tech snow flurried. Field a white-knuckled slip and slide. Pre-game, Jax cornered me in the lot, breath fogging. Talk to me, please. I zipped my jacket higher. Not now. Game first. It was carnage, Slippery passes, crunching tackles. We trailed 1-0 at half, frustration boiling. In the locker, Jax exploded. "We're choking 'cause of this crap. Man up." His glare swept the room, landing heavy on me. The words hung, accusation veiled. Second half, I ignited, stealing possession, threading assists like lifelines. Equalizer came off my corner, our striker nodding home. Then, in extra time, the moment, breakaway, Jack streaking parallel. I chipped it perfect, but he hesitated, glanced to the sideline, where scouts huddled under umbrellas. The ball sailed long, Tech countering for their winner. Final whistle, 2-1 loss. Season gutted. In the tunnel, chaos reigned, gear slammed, curses flying. Jax whirled on me, face twisted. "You set me up. That pass was selfish. Showing off for your ghost rep." The team froze. My vision tunneled. "Selfish? You're the one eyeing contracts while we bleed. You started this. With your mouth, your fears." He shoved me, chest heaving. "Fears? This is my life. You think I want the world knowing that I'm into dudes? Into you." The admission detonated, raw in the echoey hall. Teammates shifted, uncomfortable. I laughed, bitter. "Newsflash, Harlan. The world's already there. And you could have owned it. Instead, you let it bury us both." I stormed out into the snow, flakes stinging like accusations. Behind, his voice cracked, "Ethan, wait." But I didn't. Betrayal's chill seeped bone deep. Winter clamped down hard, burying Easton in a shroud of ice and isolation. Campus emptied for break, students fleeing to warmer climes, but I hunkered in the dorms. Solitary confinement with ramen and regret. Mom called from Ohio, voice tinny over the line. "Heard about the drama, kiddo. You okay?" I fed her half-truths. Team tensions, nothing more. Sparing the queer shrapnel that would have shredded her worry. Dad grunted in the background. "Chin up, son. Fields thaw." Jax's texts piled unanswered. "Talk? I'm sorry. Don't do this." I deleted them in batches, each swipe a small exorcism. The article morphed into a monster. National blogs picking it up. College soccer's coming out curveball? Pundits dissected. Toxic masculinity, the closet's cost. Pro scouts went radio silent on both our names. His Instagram, once a shrine to glory, went dark. Mia dragged me out for New Year's. Dive bar countdown, her arm looped mine as Auld Lang Syne warbled. "To fresh starts," she toasted, clinking bottles. But midnight's confetti felt like ash. My mind snagged on hazel eyes and half-spoken dreams. Spring semester cracked open like a reluctant bud. Snow melting to mud. I transferred credits to the AG school. Less spotlight, more solitude. Joining intramurals for kicks, not glory. Soccer became specter. Games blurring on TV, cheers hollow without cleats bite. Coach Ramirez checked in once. Gravel voice kind. "Doors open, Hale. Legends don't quit." But I had, or tried. Jax? Vanished act. Word filtered. He deferred spring. Holed up in some family condo in Miami. Rehabbing the ankle. Bull. It was rehabbing the fallout therapy sessions agent spin. A mutual friend slipped me a pic. Him on a beach solo, staring at waves like they held answers. April bloomed treacherous. Dogwoods pinking the quad. I was mid-jog river trail, earbuds blasting Fleetwood Mac when he appeared. Leaning on a rail, wind-tousling sun-bleached hair. Looking like he'd aged a decade in months. "Ethan." I skidded to halt, ripping buds free. "What the hell? Can we?" He gestured a bench, plea in his posture. Against every screaming instinct, I sat. Space between us vast as the river's churn. "Say it quick." He exhaled, rubbing palms on jeans. "I fucked up. Monumental. That shove in the tunnel? Lowest point. I was terrified, losing the game, the team, you. Blamed you. 'Cause it was easier than owning my shit." I stared at the water, ripples mocking calm. "Easier? You outed us both, Jax. Turned our whatever into tabloid trash." His voice broke. "Derek blackmailed me. Said he'd spike the story unless I admitted it was just bros messing around." I refused. But he twisted my words, fed the paper. By then, it snowballed. I wanted to tell you, but you iced me out. Iced? You shattered the trust. Heat rose, fists clenching. And that hesitation on the pass? Saw the scouts, didn't you? Chose the dream over us. He flinched, eyes glistening. Guilty. But the dream's dust now. No offers, no spotlight. Just me. Staring at mirrors, hating the reflection. Pause, raw. I love you, Ethan. Terrifying, stupid love. Didn't say it before cause. Closeted kings don't do vulnerability. But losing you? That's the real defeat. The words hung, a lifeline or noose. Love. First time voiced, it cracked something in me. Anger yielding to ache. Love doesn't fix betrayal. No, but time might, if you'll let me try. I stood, legs unsteady. I don't know if I can. He nodded, not pushing. Fair. But I'm here. Ghost or storm, whatever you need. I walked away, his silhouette shrinking, but the river's rush echoed his confession. Turbulent, persistent. Rebuilding was glacial. Mia-mediated coffee meets, neutral ground, the union's corner booth. At first, stilted weather talk, class gripes. Jack's thinner, shadows under eyes, but that grin flickered when I'd quip about bad refs. Still got jokes, Hale. One rainy afternoon he showed with my old cleats. Polished, laces fresh. Thought you might miss them. Gesture small, but it thawed an inch. We fell into rhythm. Trail runs where hands brushed intentional, movie nights in his revived apartment. Rocky marathons, his head on my shoulder by credits. Romance rekindled slow burn, kisses tentative, building to fire. But scars lingered. Nightmares woke me, his presser rant replaying like a curse. The humanistic turn came unexpected, courtesy of a campus forum. LGBTQ plus panel on athletes in the closet. Jax volunteered as speaker, voice steady under lights. I was the guy who tore others down to build myself. Came out messy, hurt someone I love. But hiding? That's the real game loser. Applause swelled, questions gentle. Me? Back row? Anonymous? Tears blurring his face. Pride swelled, not for the star, but the man emerging. After, in the green room, I pulled him into a hug. That was brave. He buried face in my neck. For you. Summer beckoned, internships and internships. Mine at a local rec center, coaching kids from the wrong side of town. Jax tagged along one Saturday, orange cones and tiny cleats turning him boyish. Watch this coach. A scrawny kid with my Ohio twang nutmegged him, and Jax's laugh boomed true. That night, bonfire redux, our own riverbank stars wheeling. He carved our initials in a log. Cheesy as hell. No more ghosts. Kissed him then, deep and sure. No more storms. Just us. But life scripts twists. August brought news. His ankle, that old injury? Torn ligaments, career ender. Draft dreams evaporated, scouts scattering like leaves. He crumbled in my arms, sobs racking. What now? Who am I without the field? I held him steady. You're Jax, the guy who fights dirty, loves fierce, owns his fuck-ups. Field's just a stage, we write the rest. He pulled back, eyes searching. And us? Us is the plot, whatever comes. Fall semester dawned, soccer a spectator sport. We cheered from stands, his arm around me open now, no hiding. Team warmed slow. Some bailed, but core stuck. High fives. Miss you out there, boys. Campus pride swelled, murals of us in the union. Love wins on and off the pitch. Yet the bikink hit winter's edge. Jax landed a gig. Youth Academy coach in Cleveland, entry-level but purposeful. Building the next ghosts, he joked. Me? Rec center full-time, whispers of grad school. Paths forked gentle. Departure eve, airport dawn gray as goodbye. He cupped my face, thumb tracing lip. This isn't end. It's halftime. I nodded, throat tight. Score big, Harlan. His kiss tasted salt-sweet, promise-packed. Plane taxied, and I drove home solo, radio crooning Wonderwall. Heart heavy, but full, love's not possession. It's launch. Months spun. Texts daily, visits weekend warrior style. He thrived, anecdotes of tiny terrors melting his edges. I dove deeper, coaching a queer youth league. Kids like Mini-Me, fears shed on grass. Spring reunion, Easton pitch, alumni match for charity. Jax flew in, cleats dusted off for fun. We played opposite, him coaching side, me all-stars. The goal? My chip over his head, wink attached. He chased, tackled playful, pinning me in end zone. Foul! Love you too. Crowd hooped, our story woven into lore. No MVP trophy gleamed, but in his eyes, championship. Life's no fairy tale. Bills bite, doubts whisper. But we built human. Flawed, fierce, forward. From rivals to roots, field to forever. Turns out, the star wasn't the player, but the play. The messy, mended heart of it all. No, wait, that's not the end. Or is it? As summer heat baked the Midwest again, Jax and I found our groove in the in-between. Him in Cleveland's gritty academies, me anchoring Easton's rec leagues. Weekends blurred into rituals. Him crashing my couch with craft brews and beach towels for impromptu picnics by the river. Or me trekking north for his matches, cheering from bleachers that smelled of hot dogs and fresh possibility. We'd debrief over diner pie. His tales of 8-year-olds with egos bigger than their shin guards. My stories of teens navigating lockers and labels. You're changing lives, ghost, he'd say. Fork midway to mouth, eyes soft. Quiet revolution. I'd shrug, but his words stuck. Fertilizer for the seed of purpose I'd buried under old hurts. The betrayal scar faded to silver, reminder, not chain. We'd laugh about it now, over late-night calls. Remember when you called me a hack? Best pickup line ever. His chuckle rumbled low. Worked, didn't it? But romance isn't all sunsets. Shadows stretch. Fall brought Jax's crossroads. Academy offered a bump to assistant director, but it meant relocation to Chicago, Windy City's promise laced with tempests. Bigger platform, he pitched over video, skyline glittering behind. Could scout talent, maybe even pro pathways. For us, better digs, date nights without 4-hour drives. The word thrilled and terrified. My rec gig hummed steady, grad apps pending for sports psych, dream of counseling young athletes through the chaos I'd clawed from. Uproot? For love? Mom's voice echoed. Roots bend, don't break. Dad. Chase what feeds the soul. We waited on a rainy October weekend. His flight delayed. Us holed in a motel off the interstate. Neon buzzing vacancy, like a dare. Sheets tangled, rain lashing windows, we mapped futures on napkins. Pros/cons, cities circled. Chicago's got that lakefront pride scene, he murmured, tracing my palm. Parades, panels. We could be out loud, no whispers. I propped on elbow, studying his face. Lines softer now, vulnerability etched honest. And if it storms? Your career's volatile. Mine's the slow build. He pulled me close, heartbeat syncopated. Then we weather. Together. I've got no playbook without you, Ethan. Decision crystallized, dawn lit. Go. Pack the ghosts, chase the storm. U-Haul rumbled into Cheetown, November fogged. Our shoebox apartment in Wicker Park, a chaos of boxes and hope. First night, pizza boxes as tables, we christened the space with a playlist. Springsteen to Sam Smith, bodies swaying slow. Home, he whispered, forehead to mine. And it was. Winter whipped fierce. Lake effect snow blanketing runs into slushy treks. Jax dove into work, charisma magnetizing kids from all corners. Inner city hustlers, suburban softies, a rainbow of raw talent. I enrolled part-time at DePaul, classes on resilience theory mirroring our mess. Evenings, we'd cook, his experimental tacos, my Midwestern meatloaf, debriefing days over wine. Coached a queer kid today, he'd say, pride swelling. Told him your story, minus the hot rival part. Eyes lit like he'd won the league. I'd grin, foot hooking his under table. Spreading the gospel, Harlan? Human moments peppered. His panic attack mid-blizzard, old ankle twinging phantom pain. Me crumbling over a B paper, imposter syndrome snarling. We'd anchor, tea steeped, Talks deep, reminding. Loves the scaffold, not the storm. Spring thawed to revelation. Jax's academy hosted a showcase. Scouts from MLS youth sides, parents hovering hopeful. His star pupil, a lanky Latino kid named Marco, dazzled. Footwork fluid, fear none. Post-game, Jax cornered by a silver-haired exec. Harlan, you've got eye. Ever think coaching full squads? The offer landed later. Junior role with Columbus Crew's developmental team. Back Ohio Ward. Irony bit. Circle closing, but we'd outgrown the orbit. Cleveland's home now, he told them, hand finding mine under the table. Building here. Me? Thesis clicked. Paper on queer kinship in team sports. Citations heavy with our scars. Advisor beamed. Publishable. Hail. You're on to something real. Climax crested summer solstice style. Pride parade. Chicago's arteries pulsing rainbow. We marched arm in arm. Jax's academy kids waving handmade signs. Love scores goals. Me carrying the banner for my league. Floats thumped bass. Confetti rained. And in the crush he dropped to knee. Not ring, but a keychain. Tiny soccer ball etched our field. Not proposal. Promise. Wherever we roam, this is base. Tears pricked. Cheers drowning. Yes. I choked, pulling him up. Kiss amid the kaleidoscope. Public, proud, perfect. Fall looped us wiser. His promotion to head coach, my grad acceptance. Betrayal's echo? Faint as stadium hum. We'd forged humanistic gold. Love not as conquest, but communion. Rivals to partners, field to family. Yet the true end? Open-ended like a pass arcing true. Last game of Jax's season, under lights, his team clinches title. He lifts the trophy, scans stands for me, ghost no more but guide. Our eyes lock, grin shared. That's the win. Not the score, but the story we scripted. Hearts laced eternal. In the afterglow, bonfire crackling lakeside, he toasts. To the hack who stole the star. I clink, whispering. And the storm who taught him to shine. Fade to stars bright, boundless.